Alright everybody, it's time for a new reaction review. Today's episode is brought to you by the way The Last Jedi should have ended. Now, first of all, before we get started, I want to thank everybody that has liked my last video and subscribed to the channel. In the 5 days since I've uploaded it, I've got over 600 views on that, and that's a lot more than I've had on this channel in the entire time I've had it up. So, thank you everybody. I'm taking that as an indication that you like that content, so I'm going to upload some more Star Wars stuff. And my intention right now is to try to upload something different, new content each week. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into this. Last week, we looked at a fan edit of The Last Jedi. Now, along the same lines, this right here is not a fan edit. It's not a fan film. This is actually an animated parody. And parodies are another form of things that you'll find on YouTube and all over the place, honoring Star Wars and showing people's appreciation for the franchise. But anyway, this is from the YouTube channel, The Way It Should Have Ended. And it's The Way The Last Jedi Should Have Ended. So let's take a look at it. These videos are usually pretty funny, so this is going to probably be hilarious. So let's watch it together.
Oh wow, she's floating back all of a sudden. Quick, somebody open the door.
Oh, that would have made so much more sense. Would have ruined the movie because it went over way too soon, but...
Oh no, happy beeps, buddy. Happy beeps. This is
Happy
Dameron
beeps.
of the Republic Fleet. I have an urgent communication with General Hux. Destroy that ship. Right away, sir. Oh, poop. We got enemy fighters closing in.
I certainly have to use the bathroom.
Akbar's out of there.
The chain of command dictates that Admiral Akbar will take command.
Yes.
Because seniority.
Sorry, sister.
Yay!
I'd rather not do this right now.
Oh, this is the shirtless scene.
Oh my gosh!
Please.
Oh, the image is burned in my brain.
Oh, that's
We're
good.
here. Let's land in the tall grass so we don't get spotted by some redneck alien.
Oh, good idea.
This is a covert mission. We don't
can't
have
do that.
time to waste rescuing horses or feeling bad for random kids.
Right?
No matter how sad it makes us.
Right.
Our friends are literally running for their lives. It's all up to us.
Exactly.
I get it. Jeez. We're landing in the grass.
Talk about plot holes. Go ahead. Yeah, I know. Oh no! Oh, can't have cannibalism in Star Wars.
Origin story.
Well, that was kind of a detour to the current situation I'm dealing with, but now I understand. Darth Plagueis.
Yes, that would make sense.
Your parents were nothing. They were drunkards. They sold you for drinking money. I don't seem to remember my granddaughter ever being sold for drinking money.
The Kenobi theory.
What? Who are you?
I'm Obi-Wan Kenobi. This here is my granddaughter.
I still think it's Han and Leia,
Possible.
Search your feelings.
but this would make more sense than them being nobodies.
As I was trying to tell you before, these are your first steps. And
We'll
your
talk about
true
that in a
parents
minute.
Oh no.
You're a grandfather too?
Oh, not this again, Anakin. Every time.
I'm so happy for you.
I'm so happy too!
We're both so happy. Let's tell everyone. Do you want to tell everyone?
Of course!
Please don't.
Ben, did you hear the news?
What's that? My grandfather?
My grandfather!
What are they doing?
Sir, they're transmitting a message. This is Admiral Akbar of the Republic Fleet with an urgent communique, Commander Hux.
Good lord, not this again. What do you want?
Commander Hux, do you you know what this is?
What are you talking about? None of us can see you, Akbar.
Do you know what this is?
What is?
Do you know what it is?
It's a what?
Oh, it's a trap.
What are you doing right now?
It's
Oh, it just flies off my hand.
I saved you, dummy.
Oh, I hated this scene.
What do you think I was trying to do?
It's not about winning.
There's so much wrong with this scene.
That's what I was trying to do.
Yeah, it
Akbar
was.
did the exact same thing earlier.
Let's kiss.
What the? No!
This is just sad.
Shall we let him go?
No. Oh dang, Finn and Rose just died.
Finn and who?
Finn and Lou.
What did you think was going to happen? That I would take on the First Order with nothing but a laser sword?
Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly what I thought was going to happen.
That actually does sound pretty awesome. Okay, let's do it. This place is dead anyway. But first, let's get one for the road.
Oh, no.
All right, we can go. I'm gonna miss you the most.
Don't go there.
I want every gun we have to fire on those two. Do it.
Okay, that's cool.
Impossible. He's never been seen having that force ability before. We have all seen you do that before, so it's not too crazy to think he can do this. Shut up, Carl. Nobody asked you.
That's true. In episode 7, he did that. Oh, good. Copying the scene from Return of the Jedi. Yeah, I'd prefer to see an actual lightsaber duel than that.
Bring me down. No, come on! What is with you and lightning all of a sudden?
Okay, that wasn't bad.
Now,
That was
as my first act as commander, I wish to tell everyone the plan. We have a secret base on a nearby planet that we are trying to reach. So nobody freak out or start a mutiny or anything. We actually have a plan to survive.
Oh, thank God.
Oh man, Akbar So should have been in charge. Okay, there's from Rogue One. Okay, it looks like they've got some more Star Wars content on there. I'm going to have to look that up too. Alright, well, that's pretty cool. Okay, let's go ahead and break down what we saw. Okay, well, first we have the infamous Leia Poppins scenes. Except in their version, everybody gets sucked out of the airlock, which actually, when you think about it, makes a lot more sense. Like, how did they get her in there without being sucked out of the airlock themselves? Now, on a side note, Disney just released their trailer for their upcoming Mary Poppins movie, which the timing is just hilarious. And I can just see the memes already. And if I had the editing skills, I'd do it myself. But I'd love to see somebody do an edit of their trailer. The scene where Mary Poppins comes flying down into their backyard, they'd replace her with Leia. Next we have the Happy Beeps scene with Poe and BB-8. And if Hux weren't completely incompetent, he'd have blown away that single light fighter right off the bat, and we'd never had to endure the 20th century Earth please hold and yo mama jokes. Think about it. Does the Star Wars galaxy, with all their advanced technology and everything, have call waiting? I mean, really, if something's going to take you out of the movie, that would be one of the things. Next, we have Admiral Akbar surviving the destruction of the Raddus, and he went on to take command instead of Holdo. That would have been awesome. Then we could have avoided that whole stupid scenario where Holdo made everybody think that she was a traitor. Then we have the shirtless Kylo scene. The whole idea of video phones catching people in awkward situations. Now, that's been explored before. It was addressed in the original 1990 version of Total Recall, where a half-naked woman trying to do a sexting call with her boyfriend accidentally calls Quaid, who was played by Arnold Schwarzenegger. Also, in the Sci-Fi TV series Eureka, there was a scene in one of the episodes where Sheriff Carter answers the video phone while he's in the shower. And so this isn't a new concept as we start to have the technology of video phones and everything. That's the idea of getting caught in compromising situations on video on your phone isn't anything new, but that's something that they addressed here with their shirtless Kylo scene, where they changed it to Kylo sitting on the commode when all of a sudden they start their FaceTime session there, or Force Time. Next, we have the whole Canto Bite subplot that made no sense. Didn't advance the story, and really it seemed like nothing but an excuse to get preachy about animal rights. The character of Rose was fine up to that point, I thought, but she was completely unnecessary from that point on. Same thing with the Master Codebreaker and DJ. The only reason they should have included that whole subplot would have been if the contact that they were looking for had been Lando Calrissian, and that was their way to reintroduce him to the rebellion, or the resistance. Which would have made sense, since he and Maz Kanata would have probably known each other, traveling in the same circles. The whole scene where Rose crashed into Finn, not only was it foolish stunt just to have a preachy line and to give Rose more screen time, it made no sense logically or practically. How did she, going in a circle, cut off Finn, who was going straight ahead in a straight line? It defies the laws of physics. This is a plot hole that I just can't wrap my head around it. Maybe you guys know how that could have been possible. Maybe she suddenly became a Master Jedi and was able to force project herself in front of him. Comment down in the comments section if you have any ideas about that. Next, we have the Porg scene. And as I said when I reacted to it, you can't have cannibalism in Star Wars. Although, that may have been consistent with the idea that the Ewoks from Return of the Jedi were trying to eat the humans they captured. And if you notice, back in Return of the Jedi, there were scenes where the Ewoks had human bones around their camp. And they also had the helmets left over from stormtroopers that, presumably they had captured and probably eaten. So I guess cannibalism really isn't, wouldn't be a new thing necessarily to Star Wars. Next we have Snoke, and it wouldn't have necessarily, they wouldn't have necessarily had to tell his whole backstory in the movie. They could do that in a novel or an adaptation or something. But he, along with Captain Phasma, were completely underused by the films. They were both killed off way too soon. Now, I think J.J. Abrams might actually bring Snoke back, though, in Episode 9, revealing that he actually orchestrated his death scene in order to achieve ultimate power as a dark Force ghost.
Take your weapon. Strike me down with all of your hatred, and your journey towards the dark side will be complete. Do it.
If you strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you can possibly imagine.
After all, we do know that Force ghosts apparently have strong powers, as we saw with Yoda, even having the ability to physically interact with the living world. Now, that's something that's new to The Last Jedi. We really didn't see it in the previous films, which is another plot hole. If the Force ghosts had the ability to physically interact, then why didn't Obi-Wan and Yoda and the other Force ghosts help the rebels out in their dark situations of despair much sooner than this. But this also is probably how they'll bring Luke back in Episode 9 as a Force ghost, and having him have some kind of ultimate power as the ultimate Jedi. Now, next we have the question of who are Rey's parents. Now, obviously, the story that they were nobodies, I think it's a lie from Snoke. It has to be. One popular fan theory that they alluded to here in their video is that Rey is Obi-Wan's granddaughter. Now, I think it's obvious from the clues that J.J. Abrams gave in The Force Awakens that she's really Han and Leia's long-lost, presumed dead daughter and Kylo Ren's sister. And I'll explain more about that some other time when I have time on another video to explain in depth my theory about that. Next, we have the Admiral Akbar "It's a Trap" scene. Now, that would have been a perfect homage to his character if he, instead of Holdo, were the one to sacrifice himself to save the fleet. But apparently, to push their political agenda, Disney Lucasfilm chose to give that role to a new and unnecessary character that wasn't even likable in the first place. Next, here we go. It's not a Star Wars film unless somebody loses a limb. Then we have, finally, the showdown. Stopping the blaster fire with the Force. Now, they were right. Kylo did that exact same thing in The Force Awakens. Remember that scene toward the beginning? It would have been more heroic and worthy of the legacy of Luke Skywalker if he'd done something like that instead of force projecting a hologram. Anyway, as far as the video goes, I thought it was hilarious. You could see in my reaction, I was laughing my head off on some of those scenes. Completely unexpected, completely ridiculous and crazy, but funny enough. Some of it made more logical sense than Rian Johnson's version of The Force Awakens. So anyway, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and tap the notification bell to receive notifications when I post something new on here. So what did you think of this video? What did you like or not like about this video? What did you like and not like about The Last Jedi? Make sure you comment below, and if you've done a reaction video to the same video we just watched, feel free to add a link to your reaction video down there. Maybe I can, Star Wars community, we're all fans. Maybe I can get you some likes and some traffic from my channel. And if you want to link to me to this video and send some back this way, I'd appreciate it. Anyway, there'll be more reaction reviews soon, including some content from other stuff like The Walking Dead, Star Trek, whatever new movies come out, some other sci-fi and horror movies, as well as the occasional oddball video, maybe something to do with music or whatever, but mostly Star Wars stuff. So also send your suggestions for videos that you want me to react to or review, and we'll see you next time. Thanks again, and may the Force be with you all.